Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of 7 Strategies to Get Through the COVID Crisis in 2021. This is exclusively brought to you by Affin Bank, the bank that's always about you. Yes, great partners. And in this episode, we're going to talk about how to overcome one of the top 5 reasons why businesses fail, which is poor cash flow and poor budgeting. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about financial resilience. And my name is Peter Lam. I'm the business growth strategist and author of this award-winning book called ProfitMAX Your Business. So in these challenging times, and 2021 is probably going to be continuation of the same situation in 2020, financial resilience is extremely important. So let's get started. Episode 2, I'm going to share with you 3 steps for financial resilience in good times and in crisis. So first of all, let's understand what we mean by financial resilience. Financial resilience is the ability to advance towards our goals despite adversity and setbacks. So if you have financial resilience, you can fight, you can go through this COVID crisis or any crisis and still come out and survive. So you want to be a rock solid company, yeah? And that's what I do in my book, ProfitMAX Your Business. We talk about principles of how to build a solid business that will last a long, long time and stand all kinds of trials, all kinds of challenges. Okay, so one of the first things you need to do is to learn to think clearly, decide calmly, and act swiftly. Okay, so says a fellow called Peter Lam. Haha. Okay, so think clearly, decide calmly, act swiftly. Now, what are the 3 steps for financial resilience? Basically, you got to build a strong, profitable business. So you got to learn how to do that. Then you have to build reserves. Once you have a strong and profitable business, you can start building reserves. So maybe it starts with 1,000 ringgit a month when you're first starting off, then slowly becomes 10,000 a month, 50,000 a month, and so on and so on. So when you build up sufficient reserves, you have cash reserves, maybe 6 months reserve, 12 months reserves. If you are solid companies like Genting, YTL, Google, Facebook, these guys have got a couple of years of reserves, okay? And not only do they have reserves, but they also invest very wisely. So you want to learn how to invest as well. So these are the 3 principles, no? And we'll go through them. So there are 4 components of financial resilience, no? So first of all, we have to understand what our economic resources, what sort of savings do we have, how's our debt management, do we have the ability to pay our living expenses, do we know how to raise funds, do we have an emergency fund, and what is our revenue level, no? Then we have to understand what are the financial products and services available. Do we have a bank loan or bank account? Do we have credit facilities? Do we have access to insurance and so on? And we need knowledge, financial knowledge. So good financial knowledge, knowing that there are things like P2P financing, there's trade financing offered by the banks. And of course, Affin Bank is always there to help us. So you need to know you need to have financial knowledge, no? How to be proactive in your financial actions and so on. And then finally, number 4 is you need to, So number 4, you need to understand your social capital, no? So things like, do you have access to government loans, government grants, and government incentives, okay? So those are the 4 things you need to know. So the first thing is, do you have adequate funding? Do you have sufficient resources for your monthly expenses, for your working capital, and so on, no? Have you put your business through a stress test? Of course, the natural stress test is if you have survived the last 6 months or 7, 8 months of COVID crisis, then you have a certain level of survival. But going forward, things are very different now with the second lockdown. Do you have the financial resources and the deep pockets to fund yourself through this crisis? So put yourself through the stress test. In other words, assume that business has dropped 50% or is going to drop 50%. Can you withstand it, no? And so on and so forth. So I don't have time to go through in detail, but that's the principle. And you have to understand what are the sources of financing. Like I said, you can get a bank loan. Affin Bank obviously is very friendly bank, very supportive bank. You can look at government grants. You can look at whether you need an investor to come in and put in some capital. You can look at how to get financing from your suppliers and customers. And you can look at things like fintech, ECF, P2P, and so on. So cash flow mastery is important and is very key. So in the first video series for Affin Bank, I talked about setting up a cash flow war room. I talked about how to project your forward cash flow for the forward going by having a rolling 13-week cash flow projection and being able to see forward, in front of you, what are the next 13 weeks going to look like in terms of cash inflow as well as cash outflow. So this is fundamental. If you want an email, if you want a free template of how to do this, just shoot me an email and my team will get it to you. The other thing a lot of people don't look at is generating new revenue. So in times of crisis like this, when perhaps we are being impacted by new changes in customer spending habits or what have you, you have to look at generating new revenue through new channels and new resources. So in episode 5, I think, we'll be looking at how to generate new revenue with recovery marketing and so on and so forth. Now, once you have got your business solid and profitable, you want to build up your cash reserves. So we talked about that already. So building up your cash reserves, start maybe with 500 a month, 1,000 a month, 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, whatever you can afford, but start building your reserves. So you have to make a start. If you already built your reserves, then the next step is to look at investment. Now, there are many types of investment, but depending on your investment risk appetite, you could look at something safer like property. That could be an industrial lot, that could be a factory, that could be shop houses, that could be commercial property, it could also be residential property. But you need to learn how to do that, and you need to learn some expertise how to do that. So the first rule is diversify. Okay. So in investing, you need to diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Some people prefer to look at shares. You can also look at shares, but you need to be a student of investing. Okay. So don't just simply invest, really learn the rules of how to invest. And these days, there are a lot of tools, you have robo advisors and so on. And some of them are very, very low cost. Some are even free. So look at things like that. So just to recap, there are 3 things you need to do. First of all, build a strong, profitable business, and we'll show you step by step how to do that. Then you need to build up your reserves. And thirdly is to invest wisely. So once you have these 3 things, these 3 steps, you can be sure you have a financially resilient business. And when you have a financially resilient business, whether it's a COVID crisis, whether it's a COVID pandemic, whether it's pandemic number 2, number 3, whatever, you can withstand it because you have strong resilience and strong reserves. Okay. And I just want to finish up with this quote. In this world of high turbulence and high uncertainty, we really have to keep on learning and learn faster. So whoever learns faster wins. And quoting Vern Harnish, when the sun comes up, you better be learning. Okay. So I guess we'll stop here for today. The next video in the series, we'll talk about how to build team resilience and how to build organizational resilience. And if you have any questions, you can send me an email to success@peterlamcoach. You can also visit our website. So that's it for now. And thanks again to Affin Bank.